Here. Welcome back to my backyard smoke master barbecue channel. Today I'm going to do a pulled pork oven star Grillz 20-inch offset. I'm going to use a recipe from Malcolm Reed's barbecue right for his competition style pulled pork recipe. I may not do everything exactly the way he did it, but generally this is where these ingredients would come from. So for the injection, I'm going to ground a cup of apple juice. And if you're curious, I put a post-it note on my juice. My wife likes the soft things out of the fridge. And I'm a big believer in as long as you buy it, get barbecue juice. While that's all good, I've had some instances where I've had my apple juice get washed out, so I had to use the juice. Added this note. This is the barbecue ground. So 1 cup of apple juice, gonna get 1 cup of water, half a cup of brown sugar, as well as half a cup of kosher salt, a tablespoon of soy sauce, and a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. I know I didn't say that right. Don't judge me, but you know what I'm talking about. This is the good stuff, Lee and Perrins. Stay tuned. I'm gonna put these ingredients together, get my injection ready, and then start injecting that pork butt. All right, family, so I got my injection all mixed up, and what I have here is a pork butt. It's bone in, and this one's a little small. It's about 5.7 pounds. Got this from Butcher Box. And what I like is, actually, with it being a slightly smaller cut, you know, it's really perfect for my family. It's just myself, my wife, my daughter, and they're not big eaters, so we really don't need the super huge cut of beef. So 5.7 is gonna work for us. Don't really need to do any trimming to it. It comes from Butcher Box, already cut pretty well. Not gonna do anything here at the bottom. Just wanna make sure that when I'm injecting this, that I don't puncture the fat cap, which is here on the bottom. The bone is right here on this side. So I'm gonna start off here. I'm gonna prime my pump. Okay. And we're just gonna go in at an angle and hit it. You already see some liquid escaping from the sides, but as you inject, you should be able to see that liquid going in, and you know the pork butt is kind of inflating. You can see it pumping up. So again, I'm using Malcolm Reed's recipe, and especially based on how much the size of my pork butt, I've got way more of the injection that I need, but always good to have too much as opposed to not enough. And actually I'm already feeling like I've probably injected this enough. We're getting pretty close. I'll hit it a few more times. Hit the bone over there. You can see some liquid squirting out of the top. Yeah. I think this is sufficient, but I like to try and get as much juice in there as I can. Maybe I'll hit this side a few more times. Yeah, I got juice squirting right out. So, okay, I'm making a mess. So this is more than enough. This is sufficient. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this pork butt in the fridge, let it sit for about 4 hours before I get it on the smoker. Actually, after about 3 hours, that's when I'm gonna go outside and start getting my fire started in the Lone Star Grill. Hopefully everything will settle in after about an hour and we'll be ready to go. Okay, barbecue family, it's been about 4 hours since I injected the pork butt. So now I've already got the fire going on my LSG. I'm gonna go ahead and get some rub on this butt. I'm gonna be a little adventurous today, doing something I haven't tried before. The guys over at AmazingRibs.com, they like to use mayonnaise instead of like yellow mustard or olive oil. So I'm gonna give this a shot. You know, mayonnaise is basically fat. Fat equals flavor. So I think this is probably going to work out pretty good. So another new thing that I want to try, I've used Killer Hog's the BBQ Rub, and I'm going to use that as my base. But then the other thing I'm going to try is I really like this Hogs and Heat barbecue team mild and savory barbecue rub. It's got more of a savory taste. I think the Killer Hogs the barbecue rub is kind of got a sweet profile, but this one it's got some sweet, but then it also has a little pop of heat as well. So I'm going to use a combination of the barbecue rub along with this Hogs and Heat mild and savory, and see how that turns out. Try not to go too crazy because, like I said, I'm going to follow this up with the Hogs and Heat. All right, so here's what we're doing today on the Lone Star Grill. I've got the 20x42 offset. So today I'm going to use hickory wood splits. A little bit of hickory. I'm also going to use some cherry chunks. And those of you who have been following my channel for a while, you may know that I decided to pick up this charcoal basket that I'm using inside of the fire pit to help contain the fire, keep it like a small contained fire. So I have a bed of lump charcoal, and then I decided to just start it off with one hickory split, and I'm gonna try to smoke around 225, which basically means, you know, I'm okay if the temperature fluctuates, like let's say between 215 and 240. Using the fireboard to monitor temps inside of the chamber. Right now we're at 180. So I think I'm gonna go ahead. I've got the fire going pretty good in there. I'm gonna go ahead and close the door. Gonna leave the firebox slider all the way open for now. And, you know, just kind of monitor the temps, try to get around 225. Once I'm in that range, maybe if I can go a little over 225 to start, because I know that once I put that cold piece of meat in there, that temp is going to drop. Also, I'm cooking on the lower grate, which is where the temperature will stay the lowest, as opposed to cooking on the upper grate. So that's my plan. I'll come back when I'm ready to get the meat on the smoker. All right, barbecue family. Fireboard gave me an alert that smoker temp is up to 240. And that's ideal, because again, I want to try to be around 225. I know the temp will drop once I get this in there. Okay. So again, what I'm trying to do here is allow the pork butt to just get some smoke on it. And I think that'll probably take a few hours at least. So, you know, after 2 hours, I'm gonna prepare a mop. And once I get to 2 hours, I'm gonna start mopping the pork butt. And then I'll probably start checking the internal temp after around maybe 3 or 4 hours. See if it's gotten up to 160 internal. And then at that point, we'll wrap it, get that temperature up, you know, to get it nice and tender. That wrapping process will hopefully get it up to a little bit over 200 degrees, maybe 202, 203, and that'll make it nice and ready for shredding, but one step at a time. So again, smoker is looking to smoke at about 225. Right now I'm at 218, and it's recovering, you know, again, because I put that big slab of cold meat in there. And then, like I said, after about 2 hours, I will mop this butt. Okay, barbecue family, we're about 2 hours into the cook. So I've been pretty successful keeping the temperature like no hotter than about 245, and keeping it around an average of, I'd say probably around 230, 235 has been the average. I did have to close the sliding door on the firebox. Right now I've got it about halfway open. So now that we're at 2 hours, I'm gonna get my first look at the pork butt and get this mop on. Let's see what we got. And it's coming along, it's looking pretty nice. So basically, gonna mop it every 2 hours. I think at the 4 hour mark, I'll check the internal temp, see how we're doing. Because again, I want to allow it to get smoke and probably wrap once we're around 160, 165. At that point, the meat will no longer be taking on smoke. So then we can wrap it, get it tender, probably cook it at a hotter temperature as well, just to kind of speed this along. All right, we're gonna keep rolling with the smoke. Like I said, I'll check it again in 2 more hours at the 4 hour mark. Okay, barbecue family, so it's been a little bit less than 6.5 hours. I checked the internal temp and it was at 165, so I went ahead and wrapped the pork butt. So at this stage, this is where I want to get it nice and tender. And I'm going to try to get it up to 203 degrees. So now I don't mind if my temperature goes up. Matter of fact, I'm going to try and kick up the temperature to help speed this along. So, I'll probably shoot for, between 250, 275, somewhere in that range. Okay, barbecue family. So overall, it took about 9 hours to get this pork butt to 203 degrees. And then after I got it off the smoker, I let it rest for 30 minutes. So now I'm about to see what I've got here. And this is tender enough, I'm just gonna use my hands on this. Fork not needed. Alright, this piece right here has got a little bit of crust on it. Calling my name. So this is a winner. And again, smoked at 225 for the first 6 hours, then wrapped. Having it wrapped for about 3 hours, got the internal temp up over 203 degrees. I used a combination of the BBQ Rub, another big chunk of fat, of the BBQ Rub and Hogs and Heat Mild and Savory Barbecue Rub. And this combination's a winner. So if you're just getting started out in barbecue, a lot of guys, and I do too, recommend, if you really want to get your feet wet, do a pork butt. I mean, these are very forgiving pieces of meat, hard to mess up. Just get a good rub on it. Let it sit in the smoker for 6 hours to get a good smoke on it. Wrap it to get that temperature up over 200 degrees, which makes it super easy to shred. And you got a winner. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, subscribe, leave comments. Once again, this is Kenyatta Robinson. I appreciate your support. Thank you for joining me on my Backyard Smoke Master Barbecue channel. See you in the next one.